Okay, so you've all arrived on the day been kind of told when to arrive
Like
for,
God's will.
and you're within the city. Head towards a large kind of open barracks that is in kind of western area of the city. That's where the an event called the Cleansing is going to take place, which is basically a series of trials where you are tasked to prove your worth, be a protector. So you all, each of you have walked in individually, and you're given a bit of paper. You just kind of sign away, just basic things like you understand that you get killed. You understand that you're like signing off all these things. There's all these rules that you've got to follow, blah blah blah, because it's all traditional, that kind of thing. Um, so from that, you're then taken and led into a long line in the middle of a open courtyard at the centre of the barracks. Across from you, crossing the line, is a large table with three judges on it, kind of like heavily clad, judging the. Then, like as you kind of like arrive, I'm assuming you just kind of arrive like as you come, and you first come up. The first person that you see getting called forward is a elf, which is really surprising for the world because elves are not that common. He's holding a large bow at his side and is dressed in a nomadic fashion. Slowly raises his bow and fires off 3 shots, each knocking the helm off the judges' heads. The judges then kind of like do a little clap and kind of motion for him to go off side. Next person that shows up is a extremely large half-orc barbarian who stands about 7 feet tall, looking to weigh about over 300 pounds. His display is simply walking over to one of the target dummies set out for use and punching it from existence, then walks off. That's all. The next person to walk up is Soulsby. Describe your character.
Well, I'm kind of a medium height, I suppose, about 6 foot, half elf, and I'm just kind of fully clad in like black robes with like a big hood, and that's kind of my face is kind of overshadowed by the hood, so you can't really see anything apart from that. That's really about it. I weigh only about 180 pounds, so quite light as well. Nothing really too huge, or like anything obviously distinguishable about myself.
Alright. So as you kind of walk forward, one of the judges like motions to you and says, "Please make your display." You basically got to do something that would show that you're skilled and could be a protector. Could be anything.
Awesome. Do you want to like roll for something?
But why not?
Character sheet. I'm just gonna roll d20 and then add whatever. Like, oh god.
A 4. You don't need to roll, by the way, because you're all basically passing anyway, because it's a bit of a shit start to the story if you didn't. But you can just describe what your character does. Like this is something that you're obviously skilled in, so you might as well.
Well, yeah. This is. Yeah.
You don't need to roll. Just say what you're doing.
So I'm
shouldn't have made
essentially
Soulsby go
gonna
first.
like. I'm essentially gonna stealth and just be like, and just disappear for a bit, and then appear like behind one of them and be like,
Cool.
"Good afternoon."
Okay. So that's basically what you do. And they seem fairly surprised when you appear behind them, but they kind of do a little like polite clapping and motion you off. The next person to come forward is a tall, lanky human. He's dressed in extremely fancy clothes, adorned with gold and gems. His display simply involves him snapping his fingers and 2 servant boys appearing at either side of the judges' panel and presenting them with large sacks of gold. He is then motioned off.
Is it Huey Louie?
No, it's not Dewey Louie. The next person to walk up is a small young boy who's cloaked in a kind of black, almost smoke-like cloak over him. He vanishes and immediately appears behind the judges, similar to a previous display. However, in this one, as he appears, he has removed each one of the coin pouches from each of the judges. They have then returned and he walks off the stage. Next up, a young half-elf girl wearing darkened robes walks into the ring. Her hair is grey and unkept, yet she looks no older than her 20s. She stops in the centre of the ring and glares at one of the judges. The judge runs off from the table, grasping his face. The others continue to look on at the girl, confused. She does not move for some time and is eventually asked to leave. Next person that shows up is a heavily armoured dwarf with a large war hammer. On walking forward, he instantly swings his hammer down into the ground, sending a large shockwave towards the judging table, ripping it in 2. So some time passes as they reassemble it, and during this time, a rotund man wielding a drum waddles forward and begins to beat off repeatedly in front of the judges. He's quickly removed from the ring. Sorry, I forgot I'd written that.
What kind of beating off is he doing?
That's for you to decide.
I know what he's doing then.
Next up is a halfling dressed in lavish purple robes and holding a staff far larger than any halfling needs. He holds the staff out in front of him and begins charging a massive spell of dark magics. He sends it hurtling out towards a nearby tower. As the tower falls to ruin, he is thrown backwards out of the display area to thunderous applause. Next up is another small dressed third person, I guess. And Will, describe your character.
First off, he's not wearing a cloak, because every fucking idiot wears a cloak. And
Okay.
that's how you get found out.
Right.
Secondly, he's gonna just kind of swagger up into the middle of it. He's definitely the shortest person there. He stands all of like 3 feet tall. He's shorter than a halfling. And he's got a handlebar stash. And he's just gonna kind of like roll up his sleeves a little bit, like just get them off of the wrists. And then using a combination of dancing light, flare, and ghost sounds, I'm gonna make some finger guns and proceed to shoot lights at the judges with the sounds of cannon fire raining in upon them, and hope they duck under the table.
Yeah, okay. One of them does. The others kind of just look at you as if they're kind of like feel impressed, but kind of like confused of why this is what you've chosen.
Oh yeah, they're like candle lights. It's
Yeah.
nothing like too majorly impressive. The flare is probably the most impressive thing, but then the sounds completely disfigure the noise, disfigure the sound. The light.
From under the table, you hear like nice polite clapping, and one of the judges motions you off.
I'm just gonna unroll my sleeves
Um,
and then just kind of swagger off in my own time.
a far less well-dressed wizard now steps forward. His clothes look to be handmade and badly put together. He makes a single attempt at casting a spell, but it fizzles out. He then tries again. Same result. This continues for long enough for the crowd to begin laughing at him, and he runs from the ring in shame. Next up is a well-built and well-adorned man who looks to be old enough to have seen the last darkening. He strides forward, and before he is given a chance to speak, is addressed by one of the judges. The judge says, "Really, General? You wish to join these adventurers in their journey? Very well." General just turns and walks out of the ring.
Does he have his hand in a sling? Okay.
Next up is Porno. Describe your character.
Okay, so I am roughly 5'7", dark brown hair. I'm a human. I'd probably be dressed in mostly greens and browns. My character is wearing a cloak. He steps into the middle of the ring and is followed by his juvenile wolf. Upon arriving in the middle of the ring, he would present one of the judges with his wolf and ask him to hold the wolf momentarily, as he is well trained and would be obedient. He then proceeds to go off and hide in amongst the crowd and conceal himself, and then whistles. His wolf would then run to him, find him from in amongst the crowd, and they'll do a variety of a chase, Benny Hill sort of gag for the next 5 minutes.
Okay, I don't think you'd be given that long. I think after the first minute, they would probably just kind of off to the side. Okay, so next up is a drunken elf woman, dressed only in bands of cloth, stumble forward into the ring, pushing past many other people along her way. She attempts to make various stances and movements demonstrating martial skill, but falls over repeatedly. Eventually, she is guided from the ring slowly by one of the other potential protectors. Following this, there's various other mages, warriors, and other classes come forward and make displays of varying aptitudes and competence. Finally, the area begins to kind of quieten down, and a lot of the people who have kind of since passed the cleansing have stood off to the side, and those who have failed have been sent off outside. And the final person to walk up is a small boy who walks forward and begins to swing a sword far too large from him. The female judge speaks softly to him. They may have been born in the wrong time, and being a protector is not for him. And that is the end of the cleansing. From here, you're motioned off towards a hall within the barracks, where, on entering, you are given a small piece of parchment with a single number on it. So you're each given the number of 14, and are led to a kind of session bit in the middle of the hall where your number is taken and then you're designated to a group. This is for the first time where you all three meet.
So is it just us that are in the hall just now? Do we not? Do we have our?
No,
protect-
it's just protectors just now. They're all just kind of like gathered around, standing
just
about the
So
place.
are we just in a hall? Sorry, are we in like a separate room?
Yeah, you're just in like in a large hall, and the
So
protectors.
are all the other groups together as well?
Yeah, most of the groups seem to be protectors. Groups of 3. However, some have less groups. Some have maybe 2 or 1 person. But the vast majority of the groups are of.
So it's quite obvious that we've been like put in a group.
Yes, very obvious.
What race is Thonan?
I think.
He's none of your fucking business.
Fuck's sake.
Oh God, if we got this the whole time.
I would approach them and say, Thonan. I would say, Sir Gnome. I greatly appreciate your finger guns that you displayed. It was a mighty feat of magic.
Plenty of bar wench has been witness to the power of these fingers.
I bet, sir. I bet.
Right. Okay, so
I just kind of chuckle to myself behind
I can't
him.
wait to see you two fight to the death while I watch.
Right. I on that note, I give him a bit of a strange look, and then go off to the corner to just make sure that all my equipment's sound.
Did I mention my guy was wearing like a kind of Hawaiian-esque shirt?
no, you did.
For fuck's
I
sake.
did not mention
Okay,
that.
cool. Again, inconspicuous. Everyone thinks the guy
Everyone's
with the
looking for the
cloak
guy
and
with
hat.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the wizard. Except he's got a Hawaiian shirt on, so he gets all the bitches and none of the drama. It's great.
Ace.
Sorry, continue.
Okay.
So,
I would
What
kind of
race
give him
was-
like a side-eyed glance, and then kind of.
what race were you?
I'm
Porno?
a human.
So I'll just go up to you because you're kind of my kind of stature, and just outstretch a hand and just be like, "Good. What time? Just good afternoon, sir. What's your name?"
Afternoon. I extend my hand. My name's Hakon, and this is, and I point to my wolf and say Nishoba.
Very, very nice to meet you. I'm Jonas.
Nice to meet you, sir.
It's like it
How-
was good to see you in the cleansing today. It was some were funnier than others.
A man cannot take such things too seriously. These cleansings are all about who you know rather than what you do anyway.
Very, very true. True word never said. I did, however, enjoy that man beating his drum. It was quite.
It was
Amusing.
it was rather amusing. I feel for that young boy though. I know how much it means to some of these people to take part in such a ritual, but unfortunately, it's just not time for some.
No,
All
a man
this
born.
beating
in
and
the
young
wrong time.
boys, you'd think we were in the church.
I give him another strange look.
Well, I feel at times you may be difficult to understand.
That's probably the point.
Yeah, I know. Can you like lessen the squeak and make it like a little less,
Give me a second.
or is it literally just full squeak or no squeak?
This is unbelievable.
Anywho,
I don't know if I
right.
can.
While we're
last
sorting
through a
that,
session.
basically, at this point, I'm,
Oh my god, I cast mirror image!
that's better. Right. At this point, kind of man walks in front of the hall and begins to explain to you that they will now bring in prospects and they will be assigned to their groups. When your prospect arrives, you may introduce yourself to them, speak with them, ever, but please leave the hall as soon as you've been acquainted. So basically, you would know that or prospects are girls that are usually taken from birth or a young age, and they are trained and taught with the kind of sole purpose of one day becoming a prospect and potentially becoming the Ascended. So any girls who are born roughly kind of 18 to 25 years before the Darkening are usually taken from their home and kind of taken in to be prospects. So at this point, a kind of like long procession of girls is brought in and kind of slowly work their way in, and you notice that dotted among some of the girls is people who look more like protectors. So like as if they're kind of walking with them. And I don't know, I think Will you'd probably be the only person that would know that these are usually protectors who, because you're the only one that's actually from the city, that you're like these are protectors who have selected their prospects beforehand. So like they've either been requested or requested their prospect. They're coming in with them because they're already part of their group. And then the prospects kind of all mingle through the crowd and get with the groups and kind of wait for a little bit, and eventually a young half-elf girl. I need to get her background. A young half-elf girl begins to walk towards you. She is kind of dressed in what looks like dwarven garb, and is kind of just very kind of quite plainly dressed. Like a lot of the other girls are wearing kind of long dresses and kind of trying to look quite extravagant. She looks quite kind of more ceremonial and more traditional than a lot of the other ones. And she walks up and says, "Greetings. So you are to be my protectors then?"
We are, my lady. I am Hakon, and this is Neshoba, and I point to my wolf.
Hello. What was that? Her gnome?
Oh no, sorry, I was asking out a character if she was hot.
Oh, that wasn't a character.
Yeah, I forgot to fuck with the thing.
Yes,
Sorry.
she is hot. Most of his prospects are hot.
She's an elf, right?
Half elf.
Okay.
Yeah, she kind of reaches out a hand to each of you and says, "I am Mira. I am from the city of Fjolgar."
You say Muir?
Mira. Mira. And the A has a little accent on
Oh, fucking of course it does.
it.
I just kind of bow in front of her and say, "My lady, I am Jonas."
Greeting. Hello, Jonas. And may I ask what each of you, what each of your skills are? Any of you?
I look at the others as if to suggest that they should maybe start. After waiting for a very awkward silence, I take a small step forward and say, "I am from the Valmeller tribe. We are a fairly large now group of hunters, and many priestesses across the ages have come from my tribe. I've been trained from birth to hunt, to kill, and to eventually become a protector in the Darkening."
That sounds excellent. Sounds that I'm in good hands already. And of you, kind of looks.
I just say that she might not want to hear all
Say
of
it then!
what I'm.
Character Salisbury.
Sorry, I'm not. You might not want to hear, my lady, of everything that I'm in deal with, but I essentially acquisition goods that may not usually be acquisitioned by normal people, and but be sure that I will be of great use to you and the other protectors here in aiding on our journey.
I see. Well, I was warned that there would be varying types coming to this be protectors, but I understand that it would take many different skills to complete this journey.
And I just I was like, just to reassure you though, my lady, you will come of no harm from me. I am here to protect you, not to harm you.
I wouldn't think otherwise. And to you, and look, going on.
Well, I heard the Jonas Brothers were here. I seem to have been thoroughly disappointed.
Okay. Well, have we? You know what we have to do? And basically, as she's kind of saying this, the guy at the kind of other end comes back up and says, "Right, when you have met with your prospects, please leave the hall." Like points to the kind of back room of it, or the back exit, and head towards your selected residence for the evening. You'll be required to stay at the capital for one further night before the leaving ceremony in the morning. So,
Have we been given quarters already, or is that?
Yeah, Mira kind of turns to you and says, "I will be staying at the Royal Hotel. I assume that you have not made any prior arrangements?"
So, I have not, my lady. I was under the impression we would leave sooner rather than later.
Oh, okay.
That's better than the whorehouse.
Perhaps. Well, most protectors are usually taken in by some of the inns in town for free, of course, as it's part of the tradition. So I believe if you head to the I had the name of it. Huh? Did I? You know. Basically, there's a main inn in the near the exit of or the entrance to the city that is kind of was built specifically for the purpose of holding protectors before they leave. Quite nearby, and it's in a quite good place. Prospects can stay in any hotel they're given, whether it be the place of their sponsor or the place that they are sent to or whatever. So they go to their own kind of place that is usually a bit more upper class, where protectors are given a kind of like standard inn.
I turn to Mira and I say, "Milady, are you sure that would be wise for us to be split up so soon, even after we've only just met?" Only thinking as a man of my trade might think, if someone were to want to impede your progress as a, tonight would maybe be an ideal situation to do so.
Well, it would be most unheard of and much against the tradition of the event for such a thing to happen. But if you want, you can escort me to the hotel.
I would feel much safer if we were to do that. I don't know about the others in our party.
I stand up, say, "My lady, I believe you will be in good hands this evening in the inn. Our friend here will escort you to there and leave you in those safe hands. I will see you on the morn, ready to go," and then I walk out.
Okay. So, he looks to Jonas and says, "So will you escort me?"
I shall indeed, my lady.
Okay. So, if you guys are leaving, Conan, what are you doing? Who are you going with?
I'm gonna go with the tall guy.
Okay. Your thing is going all weird, by the way. It keeps
Really?
kinda,
It
yeah.
should just be it should just be normal.
It sounds like you're in a tin can.
Oh, sick! I'm in a tin can of emotion.
Uh-huh. Right. So, if you guys head off to inn, and Jonas and Mira head off to hell. And as you're kind of leaving, you see a lot of other groups doing similar things, where some people are escorting prospects to their hotels, or they're going back to their hotels to stay because they've made previous arrangements or whatever.
So it's
I'm questioning Hakon on the beer and bitches situation and where we're gonna go stay.
I say, "I hear there are some great bitches at the Lusty Piglet, and that is on the west side of town. However, I will be sleeping under the stars this evening, as I don't know as I am accustomed to do so."
I'll be sleeping under something. It's not gonna be stars though.
"Enjoy your evening, young little one." No, I would call him young one. "Enjoy your evening, young one, and I will see you on the morn. We don't know when you will next get to taste the milk of a lusty wench."
I like this guy already.
Okay. So, but yeah, porno. Basically, it's kind of not really assumed, but it is recommended you go to the inn because it's seen as like part of the tradition. There's the whole kind of step to it, and the leaving ceremony is like the protectors then gather and they all kind of get sent off, and you get like a kind of all that kind of thing. So if you were to then leave beforehand, it would be seen as being rude.
Oh no, like I would follow due course. Like I would go to the inn, but then I would just sneak out and get back before morning.
All right, fair enough. Okay.
Like I wouldn't do anything that would take away from the ceremony of everything, but I would not be sleeping in the inn.
Right. Okay. That's fine. That for.
How many bitches I found?
That'll be a nun then.
No, that's 4. I mean, it's assumed there's going to be at least one. I was just rolling on d20 to see how generous I was feeling.
Of course. So you rolled a d20 rather than like, you know.
Well, I mean, it could have been a d100, but I hadn't eaten like lunch or anything, and the finger guns were so exhausting. Like,
Oh.
Okay. So, I will say that Soulsby, you escort Mira to the hotel, kind of like
Yes.
drop her off without incident. Whilst there, you see few of the people that you'd seen from the cleansing. You see a few of the kind of like groups of people that went before you, and you see some of the people that are now with as the prospects. They're all kind of heading in together. A lot of them are staying in the hotel rather than going to the inn. Usually means they've kind of made previous arrangements.
Okay.
But as you kind of leave her, Mira says, I understand that you had concerns of leaving me, but I'm sorry to say I would not have any way of getting you residence at the inn. It would have to have been booked, and I did not. I was to be paired with in this event. So, and then she just kind of like trails off and just turns around and walks in, as if she's kind of slightly.
I
nervous
just
about
like half bow as she like walks away.
Right. Okay. So at this point, Soulsby, you are out in the city. I don't know what the other two are doing now, because one of them wants to go outside and one of them wants bitches. So whatever you guys are doing.
Oh no, as soon as we got I would have gone to the inn after telling him about the squealing piglet.
Right. So are you all going to the inn at some point?
no, I can. I'll go back then.
Okay. Right. So you all eventually meet up at the inn after waiting for Jonas to return. And
Would the inn let my wolf inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's been made
Sweet.
for protectors, so it's usually kind of they do it.
Dogs in pubs register.
Uh-huh.
Just making sure.
Just got to sign him in.
Yeah. Once inside, you walk inside and there's a kind of large opening hall. Within it, there's a huge number of protectors some that you've seen back at the event, some that you hadn't seen, and they're all kind of standing around in the kind of like various bars and areas around the entrance hall, and yeah, it's kind of like very well furnished, nice looking inn. Probably the nicest place that any of you guys have ever been in.
I would approach the barman. I assume I would tell him which group I'm from, and then he would give me a room.
Yeah, as you kind of approach, there's a dwarf kind of standing on a stool behind a kind of like foyer desk, and says, "Greetings, extra protectors.
Greetings, sir.
You took longer than some to approach here. Was the journey okay?"
Journey was fantastic. I had some great conversation with this little guy.
Kind of like leans over and says, yes, yes. Can I ask your number, please?"
14, sir.
Right, and he kind of like looks down, kind of like little booklet in front of him. Says, "All right, okay, you will be assigned to," and explains what's going on and says, "Right, well, anything is on the house within the inn. You may leave and wander other areas of the city. However, I would be surprised if we could not provide what you're looking for within our establishment."
I give Thonan a hearty elbow to the sides.
To the sides,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep. I have to lean down to do it, but
Right,
I do
okay.
it nonetheless.
You might as well just kick me, I guess.
That would have been less subtle.
Less subtle than you like bending down onto like a half knee and then just be like, and then getting back up.
Yes.
Either way, my guy's licking his lips expectantly.
Right. So, yeah, you've got free reign of the inn. Whatever you want.
I ask if there, what sort of meats the kitchen could provide.
Oh, well, the kitchen has any assortment of meats that you could possibly want. We have brought in things from across the land. And starts listing off stuff like different animals and stuff and different cuts that they've got and what he recommends as specialty, that kind of thing.
Okay, I pay no attention to what he actually answers. I turn to Thonan and say, "I'm going to go and inspect the kitchen, see if I can find some dinner for myself and Nashoba. Enjoy your evening, and I will see you tomorrow." And then turn and walk away.
Cool. I hadn't play it. Oh, I was going to play it earlier and I've completely went past it.
You had the gangster theme tune on earlier.
Yeah.
Other enemies are available.
Other animes are well, BBC.
Hang on, this is my in music. Coming this off.
Tim Tebow better not be fucking.
Okay, so what are the other two doing?
Right, I'm talking to the dwarf.
Right.
I'm asking him, he needs to see if he can source me a piglet, 4 of the lustiest bar wenches he can find, and a 10-foot pole, and a bucket of grease.
He kind of like, as you start saying it, he's like looking down and like of course, I'll write it down, and then he writes the first one down, and he's like, what? And then you keep going. He's kind of like looks at you and squints. He's like, very well, sir. We will see what we can do, and kind of like finishes off writing the list, and then just kind of like almost holds it in disgust as he like hands it over to some small boy behind him and says, "See to these things. Don't question why. Just get some of these items and bring them to this man's room."
This is way better than a Jonas Brothers concert.
So the poor little boy holding this note, being like, "What the? Why does he need grease?" And just walks off and heads off into the hotel.
It's at my opposition school, goddammit!
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to go over? Are you good?
Whereabouts are our rooms? Are they like?
I'd imagine this place is quite big.
Yeah, it's like probably about 4 floors high. So your rooms are within the second floor and down the kind of eastern wing. Just they're all lined up, so you've got 3 in a row.
So like, there's like a balcony or like windows or some shit that goes. You know what I mean? It's not like in the center of the thing.
Are you asking the dwarf?
No, I would assume that as I'm asking you as when I get to my room.
Are you going to your room?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So you enter your room.
Right.
Thing is, Thonan's still waiting for his like request.
Oh no, I'll go to my room. I was about to say, if you've ever seen one of those things where the guy like zips off and it's like, phew, and then he's gone in a puff of smoke, that's my guy right now.
Right. Okay.
He's fucking off.
To wait expectantly.
Yeah. Thonan literally just hands over this request and then just pings off and shoots upstairs into his room or towards his room. So, as you kind of go inside, there's kind of large 4-poster bed, very lavish upholstery. It looks very fancy, very overly nice. Inside, Thonan, you find the things that you have requested already.
Excellent.
Which is fairly, quick and surprising, seeing as you just shot up there, but they seem to be very efficient. Jonas, for you inside, there's no other items as you didn't request them, but
It's fine.
So yeah, at this point, Hakon, you were in the kind of like kitchen area, yeah?
Yeah, I was heading off to the kitchen.
So you're doing. So, inside the kitchen, you kind of like are kind of like up at this. There's a kind of like all you can eat area, and you're kind of like along levels. And you're standing as you're kind of like standing in line. You're looking about, and there's kind of a couple other protectors that are kind of standing like, around, and then the queue next to you. And
Okay.
As you're kind of like sifting through meat and kind of like selecting what you want, one of them kind of looks down to you, is like, "Oh, what are you doing here?"
Ah, hello, sir. I'm here to acquire dinner for myself and my companion.
I see. And you one of the protectors, I assume, being in this place.
One would assume so.
Uh-huh. And he says, I remember your display from earlier wasn't entirely impressive, but there's varying types that join this.
Why wow the crowd when you know how to get the job?
Indeed. But yeah, you notice this guy is he's the guy that is it's the dwarf guy. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so
What
he's
did
the
he
dwarf. He's the guy that ripped the table in two.
It was a mighty impressive feat of strength, sir. I hope that you don't find any menacing tables on your journey.
He just kind of glares at you. He's like, for a man whose only talent seems to be ushering a wolf around, those are some strong
I think
words.
you'll find that the wolf was doing the ushering.
And he kind of moves on. And then
Good day, sir. I hope you find what you're looking for.
from behind you, you kind of get like a tug on the back of your cloak, and you kind of look down. There's a small kind of halfling that was there earlier. It says, "Ignore him. He seems quite stubborn. He's from Fjalgar. You heard of the place?"
Fjalgar?
Yes.
Unfortunately, I've not. I spend most of my time in the plains.
Oh, I see. Would you by any chance be one of the Val Maller? Maller? What do I call it?
Malar.
Maller, right? Yeah.
Malar. Yeah. I certainly am. I certainly am. Been travelling most of my life. It's a great way to live.
See, it's a different way to live, I guess, but it's the best.
The
Oh, well.
cities are loud and dirty. The expanse is open and free.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you and says well, good luck and I hope you do well. Walks off.
You too. Goodbye.
So yeah, you gather all your meat, whatever else you're doing.
Yep. I would just be looking for some raw meat.
I think you could probably request that, if you asked for it, they would give you a haunch to
Oh
give
no,
to
but I want to pick out my own
You want to
piece.
pick it yourself, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think an all-you-can-eat place is going to have cooked meat and then just raw meat sitting next
That's
to
why
it.
I went to the kitchen.
Or the kitchen, rather than the actual,
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so you get stuff for your wolf. So, I don't even really want to ask this question. So, Nan, what are you doing?
Right. With the assembled items and bar wenches, I'm going to hold a competition of sorts
Right.
to determine who shall have a go on the royal penis first. And so, the competition being, I'm going to smear all the bucket of grease all over the floor of the room. Right? I'm then going to cast invisibility, the level 2 spell, on the pig. I'm then going to kick the pig and watch it go scamper off into the deep corners of the room with footprints left on the grease. And the first wench to catch it gets to go first.
Right.
Let the contest begin!
What's the poll for?
How many wenches was it? Was it 4? Was that what you wanted?
Yeah, 4.
Right, okay, so you've got 4 wenches, and of those 4, 2 of them seem highly reluctant. One of them might seem underage.
Too old.
But yeah, the other 2 seem quite into it. They seem to be quite kind of like.
Too old.
Is that an actual statement of you wanting underage children? Underage
No.
children?
The 10-foot pole so I can get on the top of the 4-poster bed.
Right, okay. Oh, 10 foot high, Jesus.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know that. I
Uh-huh.
don't know the specs of the room. I just guessed it would be at least 10 foot tall, at most 10 foot high.
Alright.
There's also the possibility of show jumping, but this idea was way better.
Right, okay. Right. So, one of them eventually catches it. So,
It's the underage one.
not the underage one. The underage one's not participating. You've got the choice of you've got the choice of 2. One of them is a kind of rather young, slender-looking girl who seems far too eager to be involved in such a competition.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is a very kind of staunch. Is that the right kind of word? Kind of quite well-built woman who immediately just starts flailing about the place and throwing this poor other girl about, trying to find this invisible pig.
Excellent. I'll let this play out. I like the sound of this.
Right. I was
Can
going
I
to...
throw the 10-foot pole in between the middle of them?
And what, have them fight for it?
Don't know. Just want to see what happens, really.
Right, I'm pretty sure I think the 10-foot pole gets snapped quickly by the woman and she starts beating it about the place trying to find a pig.
Excellent.
So after far too long of this stupidity, you hear a squeal as she like swings it and clatters the pig in the head, and then she just walks over and picks up the invisible pig and then just plonks it next to you. It's like, I win! We have Snoo!
Excellent. Right, I cast sleep on her.
Okay. Right, I'm gonna leave that so you do whatever you want.
And then I leave a note saying that she was awesome, and then I go down to the kitchen and ask them to cook the pig.
Okay. They oblige. Is the pig still invisible at this point, or has it ran out?
No, I can cast flare and see it.
Okay. Okay, so you bring out a sparkling pig.
Yeah, I just I leave the hookers asleep or dead in the room, and then go and take the pig downstairs and ask them to
Asleep
cook
or
it,
dead.
and go find it's all the same to me. And go find my companions.
Okay. Right, well, Hakon's downstairs, kind of getting a selection of meat, including raw ones. Jonas, what are you doing?
So after like checking out the room, what kind of time is it now?
It's kind of getting quite late in the afternoon, kind of nearing like 5, 6. So it's around kind of like dinner time, so people are starting to kind of like head downstairs for dinner.
I'd go down for dinner, but I'd make sure like I was always sitting like in the corner with like my back against the like corner of the wall, just like watching everyone as I eat.
Cool. So, you all head down for dinner and you get a table together. The tables are usually set out so that each group of protectors is sat kind of in their own table, as a means of trying to like get to know each other and kind of that kind of thing. As you're kind of looking around, you see kind of really varied like amount of people that are there. Like you see a lot of kind of wizards and warriors and people with armor and people with pets and animals and are like kind of strangely dressed as if they're from like different distant areas and all that kind of thing. So it's basically anyone from across the continent who has a kind of skill and competence in any kind of fashion came to this place to participate and take part in this event. Yeah, as you're sitting down, you get approached by a group, and you recognise that there are again 3 people noticed from the event earlier on, and the one that walks up to you kind of walks up and he's kind of just like glaring at. He's like, "We want this table. You're going to give it to us."
I gasp. And then
But you
I clasp my hands over my mouth.
Right. You notice in front of you that there's the from the event before there is the elf that showed up that was kind of there at the start that was like shooting a
Sorry,
ball about.
who's are you describing? Who's in this group?
Yeah, I'm describing the 3 people that have walked up to you
Okay, awesome.
who are wanting your table because it's in a nice place.
Yeah, sorry. Continue.
Okay, so the other one is that kind of younger boy who had the kind of like smoke cloak thing on that did the kind of like same kind of thing as Soulsby, and then the third one is the giant half-orc guy.
Oh yes, right. Yeah, I gasp and I say that I just gasp at the half orc.
Right. He kind of
I look at him and gasp and then say, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know."
he kind of looks confused. He looks at the elf and he's like, "Little man, say silly thing." And the elf's like, "You're confusing my companion. I'm not going to say it again. Actually, no, I will say it again for the last time. We want your table. Please move."
Well, I would consider it, but I think the guy's gonna need some time to grieve because I think I just had his mum murdered by prostitutes.
The
I'm done.
the big guy kind of looks down and he's like, "Mommy," and just kind of looks confused.
Ideally, I'd like them to bring over the hog roast, the sparkly hog roast night right now.
Right. Okay. Conveniently timed. This still sparkling pig gets brought over and sat in front of you,
And I like dunk my head on the table. I'm like, I didn't know! Why? You should have said you had a family.
Do you just hear from the background the kind of young boy just being like, he's saying the pig is your mum? And the big guy just kind of looks at you, he's like, that me no like you. And then
Right,
just,
I shoot a flare past his face and be like, ooh, shiny! Does he look?
hang on, I'm going to roll for that actually. I rolled a 20, so yeah, he's not caring. He's looking at
Right,
you.
I'm gonna go sound from the pig and convince him it's his mum, somehow.
And say what?
Do not worry, son. Mother led a good life.
Oh my god.
Worry
Right.
not.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Graham,
Surely a bluff. Surely he has to roll a bluff for that shit.
Graham,
Yeah.
can I roll on disguise to try and quickly disguise this pig to look more like an orc?
Not when he's watching you.
Ah, shit, right, I'll roll bluff.
Can I combine that with a sleight of hand?
Right, okay, so as we roll sleight hand, we'll roll a bluff.
Oh,
Right. So as we do you want to roll a sleight of hand? It might not do much at this point, because he's
no!
not
The bluff
really...
is -1.
Okay, so, good rolls all round, guys.
That's a 17!
Yeah, I know it's a 17, but he doesn't... Right, you've basically just tried... You've tried to make the... Right, the pig now looks like Shrek.
I feel he needs to roll perception against this.
Oh, wait, against the pig.
What, against your one?
Well, no, the thing is, he knows that you're taking the piss, and that it's not...
He's not that smart, though. He's an orc, surely?
He's a half-orc.
Well, I know some half-orcs, and they're not very clever.
Uh-huh. Are they called Kronk by any chance?
Right, in light of my spectacular skills, I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself, just in case.
Okay. Right. So he's now just looking down at this pig that is basically now like slightly dressed. What's that for?
That
your disguise?
No, I'm gonna stealth.
You're going to stealth.
But stationary for at least one round, so that's a 28.
Okay.
28? 24.
Right. Can you start rolling with pluses?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Right. Okay, so he's like looking down at this little gnome, being like, "You mean you're not funny?" And then just takes.
How about an arm wrestle?
Is that what you say?
Yeah.
Right. His fist is currently going like near. You think it's going near you, but he's actually going to punch the pig.
Spoiler alert, I get to use my third arm.
Okay. So he swings in at the pig and just like with one punch goes through the pig, through the table, and into the floor. So your table is now ruined, and the guy's like, "Well, we did want the table, but looks like it's just a mess now," and starts to walk off. And the big guy is kind of like looking down at this kind of like remains of a pig, being like, "You know, Bobby dies," and then like I was going to say he starts to cry. I don't think he would start. I don't think it'd be that bad, but he turns around and starts running off in like an opposite direction.
As he runs, can I put my foot out to trip him as from stealth?
Go for it.
What do I roll?
I guess we're eating Alfresco now, then.
Roll a hit.
Just so melee.
Yeah, you're basically trying to beat his CM.
Okay.
There's a thing for trip.
Which is just an attack. Reflex.
Um,
Yeah, you beat it. Because he's not really expecting it at all. So yeah.
I just want to try and like trip him over, and then we can laugh at him.
Okay, so he turns to run away after beating the shit out of Pig, and then turns around. You trip him, and he falls into the table next to you, and just plates and everything start going everywhere.
I just laugh. I just start laughing at him.
Right.
That's not very good sport. I mean, the man's mother just died.
This makes me laugh harder.
Right. So the table he lands on, one of the guys gets up and he's like, "Dude, what the fuck? What are you doing? We're trying to eat here." And the guy kind of like the half orc slowly gets up and looks at the guy, and then immediately leans over and fucking cleganes him in the face, as in like to the Viper and just pops his head.
That's
And
not
so-
very protector-like behavior, if you ask me.
Yeah, Salisbury's dropped from the call. So he like crushes this guy's skull in, like tosses him at the side, and then just storms out the building.
I guess people grieve in their own ways. Oh well.
I'm actually on the floor, like, laughing now.
Has anybody got rolls?
Waiter comes over and hands you a little tray with some rolls on it.
Hey, wait. 0 successes on rolls. Get it? Because it's a dice.
What's a DF?
I don't know, I mistyped it, but it's good to know.
Why does it say 0 successes? Anywho. So yeah, you guys are kind of eating away, and I've put a 19 on the board for some reason. Oh, DF 20 would be like target number 20, and it'll roll, I think. So if I do like that. Why is there a 19? What did I roll? Right, doesn't matter. Anyway, so you guys are kind of like eating away. You know, talk amongst yourselves. Hello?
You should have seen. You should have seen that pig. Oh, it can move.
I give a hearty chuckle, and
I just kind of chuckle and I'm like, I think we're gonna get on well.
I looked at the pig and I go, so you guys wanting any of that?
I bloody well handed. Ran it about for the past couple of hours. Of course I do.
Excellent.
Did you run
So-
it about? I heard a lot of people in your room.
Well, by ran I mean watched, and by me I mean others.
I just kind of like
I
laughed.
just scoop up some.
And it's just like, well
some of the
played,
pig
sir.
and give it to my wolf.
Okay. So, Jesus.
I just start chowing down on the floor pig.
Floor pig, is that what you're calling it?
No, it's a pig on the floor.
Well, I didn't know his mum's name, so I don't know what else to call it.
Okay, so you
This got brutal.
you kind of start eating away during the evening, and eventually people start kind of leaving off, like kind of like leaving the hall, and you're kind of eating away at your pig, and more stuff gets brought over and all that kind of thing, and eventually you all head up to your or head off to do other things for the night.
Yeah, I would head up to my room, and then depart from there.
Okay, so you're looking to just leave.
Same.
You say same,
Yes,
No, I'm not leaving with him.
right? What are you doing then?
I'm essentially gonna go like sneaky over the roofs back to like the hotel, make sure like nothing mental's going down. Because I'm really like pessimistic of everyone here. Not like my group, but as in the other protectors.
Where are you going? Like, what hotel? Are you going to the Royal Hotel? I mean,
Yeah, sorry, the Royal Hotel.
right. So you want to go spy on Mira,
Not necessarily, not really like on her, as in
just
more on
look
like
and see what other people are doing.
yeah, and like if anyone's gonna like I don't know, try and fucking jump her or some shit.
Okay, right,
If there's any shady goings on near in the area.
right. We'll do that after. Is there anything else you guys want to do? Or are you just going like to head off to bed?
Oh, I've had one hell of an evening. I think I'll call it quits from there.
Right.
I'll be leaving my room and then going off to find a nice patch of empty ground outside the walls to sleep.
Cool. Also, Thonan, when you head back up to your room, it is spotless.
Oh, I like this protector nonsense even more.
Okay, so Jonas, you head out, and are you going by ground or are you going by like the rooftops?
I assume like the like streets are really narrow, like really old. Yeah, so I'd go by the rooftops.
Okay.
I'm assuming there's no like it's not like Assassin's Creed where there's a guard on every fucking rooftop.
No.
Yeah, so I'll go by the rooftops.
Okay, so you kind of head off.
Other rooftop.
You head off along the rooftops and until you get to kind of like central square that looks onto the hotel. From here, you can see a couple of people moving about. There's not that many, and you can see two guards posted out the front of the hotel. Both are wearing full armor and kind of like the royal garb of what you would know to be House Valkaros, sorry, which is the king, like the king of the city. They're wearing his kind of like his colours.
All right, cool. I'll kind of chill there for an hour and see if like guards like rotate, so as in if they get like relieved or if they like change positions or anything like that.
Within the hour, they don't really. One of them kind of like goes inside for a little bit and comes back out maybe 10 minutes later, but they don't kind of like swap round.
Yeah.
However, like looking about the place, you see kind of various rooftops that kind of lean round because it's a like massive hotel. Like the whole thing goes like right round one side of the city. So if you kind of like if you go round, there's a gate round most of it, but actually hold on. Yeah, roll a perception check.
Okay. 2 seconds.
Actually, hold on.
Oh, 11. Yeah, 11G.
I may be a bit low.
No, it's alright on my end.
Cool. So, you don't really see any kind of like obvious way to get in, but you think you might be able to like work your way round one of the walls and perhaps get in from like round the back of the hotel.
Cool. I'm thinking like I don't really want to go in because I have no idea where she is in this hotel. She could be bloody anywhere.
Right.
So I would just want to go and like watch over like so try and find an area you could get in and then just watch that area from like afar. So if anyone was trying to sneak in or out, I could tell.
Right. This is a massive hotel. Like this is like, and there's quite a few people going about, but yeah.
No, I mean like but if you're like trying to sneak in a fucking top window off a roof, you're not exactly gonna be like meant to be there.
Right. So you're basically trying to see if there's anyone that's like shouldn't be allowed that's trying to like sneak in.
Yeah, essentially what I'm doing.
Yeah. So you're trying to see. Yeah. Right. Okay. You're trying to see anybody else that's doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Bunch of guys awkwardly see each other on windowsills. They're just like, what are you doing?
Just like wave.
What are you doing?
Well, yeah. Okay. You kind of hang about for a lot of the evening and don't really see any kind of odd events. No one's trying to like scale the walls. Nobody's trying to like break in through the windows. It seems fairly.
Apart from fucking Hakon, who's like climbing up the city.
Well, he's going the other way.
Yeah, after I've been there for a while, I'm satisfied that like it's pretty chilled and the king's like guards, if that's a way you describe them.
Like
are like I've got it pretty tight, so I just leave and go to bed.
she's probably currently in like the safest place in the city.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure for my own pessimistic peace of mind.
Fair enough. Cool.
So
Right.
I just bail back and go to bed.
Cool. So, the night passes uneventfully, which is not at all surprising for a first session. But in the morning, you all kind of wake up. Hakon, have you returned to your room?
I would have returned to my room before kind of normal people would wake up.
Okay. For ease of it, you're getting back into your room
Okay.
for no other reason.
Excellent.
Yeah. So you gather up in the morning, get down, kind of start heading towards breakfast that's laid out for you, very similar to before.
I
notice that-
make sure to go to the table that is still shattered on the floor. and
oh no,
sit there.
it's fixed.
Oh, I go to that same table then.
Right. Okay. You go sit down at the same table. That's now completely fixed, and there's no signs of anything happening before.
I would head downstairs.
That cat doing.
He's being very happy with things. Anyway, I would go downstairs, see Soulsby sitting at, see Jonas sitting at a table, and go and join him.
I beckon him over because I quite like our party now after last night's events. They were quite humorous.
Cool. Right. So you're sitting, kind of eating breakfast, just chilling. See.
Can I get a beer?
Yeah.
Because it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah. You guys are wanting to do.
I would literally just be sitting having breakfast
Yeah, I
of
would
some
just
kind. Eat and get ready to go.
Right. Okay. So after breakfast, everybody starts kind of like leaving, like all heading out from the inn towards outside. And as you get outside, you notice that in the early hours of the morning, at some point, you might have noticed it when you were heading in, actually. But like most of the street that you're on has been filled with kind of like banners and street. So kind of like general. It looks like a street party, basically. Like all those kind of what they call bunting. That's the thing. It's got that, and it's all kind of like all the way up the street. And the street that you're on curves round and heads towards the Royal Hotel, which is at the top of the kind of like the top of the road. And as you get out, you notice that a lot of the protectors that you'd seen previously in place are all kind of gathered round in the middle of the street. And
Do I see? Yeah, I was about to say, do I see the half orc?
you do.
Right,
I go and stand beside him.
I pour a little drip out of my beer for the homies.
I go and stand beside him, but like behind him, so hopefully he doesn't notice.
Alright, he doesn't notice.
I'd follow them, but keeping a safe but reactionary distance away from the giant half orc.
I'm not too bothered, I'm just kind of wandering around, sipping my beer. I made my peace.
Cool. So, as
My
you all
head's crackling.
make it kind of like gather up outside, a kind of large, like a loud trumpeting happens from the other end of the street. As you look up, there's kind of procession of all the prospects heading down, and there's people kind of starting to line up at the side of the street, and they're like kind of confetti and flowers and that at them as they're coming down and cheering and clapping at them. And you can see that it's it's done in a very kind of like methodical ceremony, as if like these girls are almost royalty in the way they're being treated. So they head down and they all kind of like file off, and all the prospects start heading towards the protectors again. Mira kind of walks up to you and is like, "Hello again. I hope you all had a nice evening. Did anything?
It was very eventful.
Oh really? Anything interesting happen?
Some more than
Nothing happened at all, and I wave my hand, like, in the direction of her face. Obviously, I'm nowhere near it.
Right. Because she looks down. She's like, "I see. Nothing at all. Right. Okay.
Just like, holy shit, that fucking worked.
I just put my face in my hand and shake my head.
Yeah. I'm glad everything went okay. It would be horrible if something was to happen. I've heard of some sectors not getting along and events happening in the hotels. It's
That would never be us. We get along with everybody. Everybody.
okay. As you say that, like you kind of see the half orc just kind of glaring at Thorin, just looking at him from across the street.
I turn and stare at him dead in the eye.
Right. So Mira's just kind of like, well, shouldn't be long now, and they'll finish the leaving ceremony. I briefly mentioned yesterday I'm from Fjallgar. I hope that's not too much of a problem.
Never a problem.
Oh, that's good. I was quite worried about that actually. I mean, I understand many protectors wish their prospects to be lower, but I'm glad you're happy and okay with that. Yeah, as she kind of finishes speaking, up at the end of the street, there's a large a wooden what's it called? Like the thing that they stand on for speakers. People would do like a public speak.
A pulpit.
Yeah, something like that.
Or a pulpinus. One or the other.
Why not? I thought it'd be more like a church.
I feel like I've never seen that kind of pit before.
Right. And at the end of the street, you see a man get up who is extremely like kind of fancy dressed, but is dressed in a fancy way. and has a golden crown on him and is wearing the colours of Valkaros, the same one that had the Royal Hotel.
I'm gonna take a mental note that I need to get myself a crown.
Okay. So he stands up and he says, "Greetings, protectors and prospects, heading out on this glorious journey across our beautiful continent of Valos. I am so pleased to have seen so many show up this time around, as it is a great honour for us to be in the presence of such great people." And it kind of waffles on a bit and kind of goes on about doing all this kind of, like, you're all magnificent and all that kind of thing, and he's really, like, doing it up quite a bit. It says, and he, like, brings out a large scroll. It says, "For those of you who are from distant lands or from elsewhere, and who may have just heard of these events as a general, as a thing to aspire to, I will read out the rules of our proceedings." And he says, so he kind of, like, starts with, he's like, "For a prospect to be truly worthy of the Emperor, they must have made the journey themselves. Each step must be taken as their own." And he just kind of looks as like, "So, no transport? You must walk it yourself." Back down and says, "A prospect must be thankful for those who have aided her in beginning her journey. Must first thank those who sponsor her, and then travel to the place of her birth in order to thank those who brought her to the world. Prospects are given protectors to help them survive the harsh journey ahead of them. They must respect them for their services they offer. Protectors may not bring harm to any prospect, their own or otherwise. These girls are performing a sacred duty and must not be harmed. All prospects must reach the journey's end no later than 1 week before the darkest day, which will take place 1 year from now. Any prospects who fall before they reach the end of their journey will be remembered for their service to the land, and protectors who fail them, however, should not bother return. Protectors, when your prospect is delivered to Journey's End, you may return to us here, where you will be rewarded for your great service and praised across the land, giving wealth beyond imagine." He kind of, like, rolls up the scroll and turns around and he says, "So unto you all, I say good luck, and I hope your journey is successful." And there's, like, more tooting and horns and things going off, and the gates at the front of the city open, and everybody starts heading out.
Where did she say she was from, Graham?
Fjalgar.
Fjalgar.
How do you spell that?
F-J-A-L-L. Hang on, I've got it written down. F-J-A-L-L-G-A-R. Fjalgar.
Fjalgar.
Yep.
So that's where we're going first.
Yes, that is where you're going first.
TLDR.
TLDR, yeah. So pretty much, the TLDR is that you need to head, so basically to go over those rules in less kind of, like, words, is that you need to walk the journey. You can't use transport. You've got to, like, take the path yourself. You need to go to the place of our sponsor, which is, she's from Fjalgar. You need to go there and thank her sponsor there, whoever that is. And then you need to head to the place of her birth, wherever that is, and then you can go towards Journey's End, but only then.
So is her sponsor in Fjalgar as well? Or
Uh,
I assume we have to ask that, actually.
yes. But I'm just going to go over this.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, basically, you can't harm other prospects, and you just won't be harmed by other protectors. The rules.
Would we know what happens to protectors that harm other prospects? As in, like...
Yeah, they're basically exiled or
I
executed.
do believe that is a paddling.
I think it's worse than a paddling.
There's nothing worse than a paddling.
That's a paddling.
Yeah.
Oh.
However, there's no rules about protectors and other protectors.
Here, the dog. I'm going to go breach the seal. Be right back.
Okay.
Are we taking a break now then, seeing as he's off to piss?
I'm going to do it after I finish this, but...
Okay.
Oh no, finish. I haven't left.
Right, okay. So, yeah, from here you have a year. Get from Balasar to Fjalgar. Speak to her sponsor, parents, and then you can head off to Journey's End. Within that time, you can do anything else. Anything else that you prospect or you want to do within that time, as long as you show up a week before the darkest day.
How long? Yeah, how long?
Would
do
we know how
get?
long it takes to get to Fjalgar and then to Journey's End from there?
Yes. Link travel information. work out what the fuck is going on.
Perfect. Thanks, Grim.
Thanks.
But yeah, if you guys will take a break now, and we come back.
Okay, I go pee pee.